Howdy everyone, and welcome to today's Daily HUD. I'm Dom, and we have got a lot of stuff to talk about from this weekend's event, so let's just hop right on into what's going on. Starting off with our Battle Royales. Fortnite held their online opens week 4 featuring duos. In North America West, King Lino and King Barrel won first place, taking home $6,500 qualifying for the World Cup, and in North America East, Energy Zavit and Ghost SAF took first, getting $10,000 and their own tickets to the World Cup. Behind them, Tempo Brush and Tempo CIZ Lucky are in second place, and in third, Nate Hill and FaZe Funk are in third. All three of these duos have earned tickets to the World Cup later this year. Otherwise, in Fortnite news, we've got a whole bunch of stuff going on with the map changing, the volcano exploding, and the vault finally cracking open and adding the drum gun back into the wild. We talk about it in our quick fix over there, but let us know what you think about that in the comments below. But looking at our next Battle Royales, PUBG is still continuing. The Kick-Off Cup is resuming, and let's take a look at some of those stats that we just saw. Looking at that Kick-Off Cup, the finals started on the 2nd, concluding yesterday, this past Sunday. Team Liquid was in first place with 5 chicken dinners over the course of their games, a second place win, and 3 third place wins for a huge number of points at 173. Now, second place was Team 7 in second place at 103 points with their own 2 chicken dinners, and FaZe Clan in third at 89 points with Unity in fourth at 81. Now, the PEL Kick-Off Cup is not going to affect the standings. This is a for fun tournament in between the PEL and the Contenders League, and the PEL will return to regular season play on May 17th. In other news, the NPL has returned on Saturday. United start things off with an early points lead, winning week 1 with 71 points and 2 chicken dinners. Lazarus are in second place at 58 points from 3 third place finishes. Cloud9 are a single point behind them in third place, and Tempo Storm are again a single point behind Cloud9 at 2 first place finishes. Now, that was just week 1 of the NPL. It started off to a lot of fanfare, and it looks to return later this week on this coming Saturday. So it is good to see the PEL and the NPL once again competing against each other. Now, looking towards our next genre, FPSs, we've got CSGO completing IEM Sydney. The semifinals took place this past Saturday with Team Liquid versus MIBR. Now, Liquid took map 1 at 16-10. Map 2 went to Nuke, which was heavily counter-terrorist sided. It ended with Team Liquid taking the win in overtime as both teams went on massive counter-terrorist streaks over the course of that matchup. Now, MIBR has got a lot of history with Team Liquid, but it still looks like in those big matches, Team Liquid are the teams to beat. Up next, Energy played Fnatic, with Fnatic taking game 1 on Inferno, and Energy taking Train at 16-8, and finally Fnatic ending the series 2-1 on Mirage. The grand finals on Sunday were Team Liquid versus Fnatic. Fnatic took game 1 on Cache at 16-10. Team Liquid swung it back with a 16-4 game 2, and then a 16-8 game 3 on Mirage. On match point, Fnatic forcibly reset the series, taking game 4 at 16-6 on Dust 2, evening everything up at 2-2. Now, series point went to Inferno, with Team Liquid closing out at 16-9 from an 11-4 CT half from Team Liquid. Now, currently, Team Liquid are your 2019 IEM CSGO champions, taking home $100,000 as a result. Big congratulations to them. But if that's still not enough CSGO action for you, the ESL Pro League will be returning this coming weekend. Otherworldly, we've got the Overwatch news. Saturday had 4 games, with London Spitfire going 4-0 against the Houston Outlaws, Atlanta Reign 3-2 against New York Excelsior, Seoul Dynasty 0-4 against the Vancouver Titans, and Chengdu Hunters 2-3 against the LA Valiant. On Sunday, the Toronto Defiant went 4-0 against Paris Eternal, Washington Justice went 3-2 against Boston Uprising, Shanghai Dragons went 0-4 against San Francisco Shock, allowing the Shock to shock no one by continuing their win streak, and finally, Seoul Dynasty were 1-3 against the Hangzhou Spark. Here is a breakdown of the standings. The San Francisco Shock are in first at the closeout of Stage 2 at 7 wins and no losses. 28-0 in maps, completely undefeated. Vancouver Titans are in second with 7 wins and no losses, but are 25-3 in maps. Now, London Spitfire are in third at 6-1, with LA Gladiators at fourth, go Los Angeles, also at 6-1, but with a lower points differential. New York Excelsior are in fifth at 5-2, with Dallas Fuel in sixth, also at 5-2, 5-2, and finally Hangzhou Spark in 7th at 5-2. And as our last playoff team, Shanghai Dragons will go to their first ever playoffs at 4-3 with that points differential. Now the quarterfinals are taking place on Thursday and Friday. Semifinals would be this coming Saturday with the grand finals on Sunday. So that's our shooter action for now. Looking at our MOBAs, League of Legends had MSI going on this weekend. Group B concluded early yesterday morning with Vega Squadron advancing to the group's qualifier match. Earlier this morning, we had the results of some of those matches, with Buffalo taking on Team Liquid and Team Liquid winning a swift 3-0 to advance to the group stages. Now, Buffalo are not completely eliminated though. They will be playing against the losers of Flash Wolves versus Vega Squadron, which is currently still ongoing as we're filming this right now. And as of just a few moments ago, Flash Wolves are 2-1 versus Vega in Game 4, so we'll keep the updates rolling as they come out. Turning towards Dota 2, the MDL Disneyland Paris Major happened this weekend as well. 16 teams and groups played their entire group stage over the course of the weekend. In Group A, Virtus Pro went 2-0 with Team Liquid at 2-1 to advance to the upper bracket. Group B, Team Secret at 2-0 with NIP at 2-1. In Group C, Vici at 2-0 with LGD at 2-1. And finally Group D, Evil Geniuses at 2-0, OG at 2-1. Now what this means is of all of the teams that competed, those top 8 advanced to the upper bracket. They played their first round earlier this morning with Team Secret at 2-1 against LGD and OG going 2-0 against Virtus Pro. Every other team went to the lower bracket, which is the elimination round, the first round of which is only a single best of 1. From there, it's best of 3s to climb all the way up to the grand finals, as the bracket is set to start eliminating players, as lower bracket round 1 started earlier this morning, about an hour ago. It's 10:59 right now, so at 10 a.m. Eastern. Now looking towards Smite League, we saw E United versus Space Station Gaming. E United won their series at 3-2. This is what we were hoping for earlier in the week though with Space Station Gaming, as they are the lower team in the standings and E United is undefeated, but that we saw Space Station Gaming have a good series against E United proves that Space Station Gaming are still a team to contend with, even if they did drop 0-3 to Rogue on Thursday. So it just shows that they're preparing for their next opponents. Now looking towards our sports games, we've got the NBA 2K League, which concluded their week 4 on Friday. Blazers won 63-49 against the 76ers. Jazz 69-51 against the Warriors. The Bucks 77-50 against the Raptors. 76ers 65-59 against the Knicks, and Jazz 75-57 against Grizz Gaming. Now what this basically means is that the regular season is still starting to shake out some of those standings, but it will be taking a hiatus this week for the Turn Tournament, starting May 9th and running through May 11th at the Esports Arena in Vegas. Seeding, however, is being determined by the win percentages from weeks 2 through week 5. Things are still shaking up a whole bunch in the NBA 2K League, and we'll be sure to give you updates on that league as time continues to go on, because it is really looking to be quite exciting. And this is also the first NBA 2K live event outside of New York. So if some of you are in the Vegas area, you can get your tickets right now online at 2kleague.nba.com, but just go ahead and give that a Google for the actual address. Meanwhile, turning our attention towards our next sports game, RLCS concluded their week 5 this past weekend. Let's take a look at those North American scorelines. First up on Saturday, we had North America with Space Station going 3-2 against Splice. Cloud9 dropped another set, this time 1-3 against Energy in a great game. Then Space Station went 1-3 against Rogue. Ghost Gaming went 3-1 against Evil Geniuses. NRG continued their win streak at 3-2 against Rogue before G2 defeated Cloud9 again. Now, Energy, G2, and Cloud9 are still your teams to watch, but please keep a close eye on Space Station Gaming and Ghost Gaming for that final week 6 of North America. In Europe, Mao's Esports went 1-3 against Vitality. The Bricks went 3-1 against TSM. Barcelona went 3-1 against Triple Take. Dignitas 3-1 against TSM, and finally Barcelona 3-1 against BSG, and Dignitas 3-1 against Bricks. Now, the European League is starting to look a little bit more spicy than North America, but of course we'll still continue to update that as we get closer towards the end of the regular season. In F1 esports, the Baku qualifier wrapped up this past weekend, with the Catalunya qualifier starting yesterday, I believe this morning, and running over the next 2 weeks. You're going to drive Max Verstappen's Red Bull Racing RB14 on the 2018 Spanish Grand Prix. But here's a curveball. You've got front wing damage. Now, the trade-off, you can get fresh tires from your pit crew. However, I mean, you're going to drop a few places in the standings. Max Verstappen decided to complete the race with the wing damage. So you do have a little bit of a handicap, but you can choose to eliminate it at the sacrifice of maybe catching up with some fresh tires. Your choice, though, as the qualifier will be running for the next 2 weeks. Elsewhere, we're turning our attention towards our next fighting game coverage in the THUNDERSMASH 2019. The Super Smash Bros. THUNDERSMASH 2019 took place this weekend. The winner-take-all first place prize of $20,000 went to DeBuzz. Second went to MVD, third to Salem, and fourth to Wadi. Now, DeBuzz of Team Liquid crushed his entire way through the final single bracket, jumping out of the losers bracket and then winning every single match at a solid 3-0 from there. The only close contender was his match against Wadi at 2-3. So big congratulations to DeBuzz for taking that win. Now, in Headstomper 2019, we're just going to run through things nice and quick. The Tekken World Tour Tekken 7 Finals, Asim took first place. Capcom Pro Tour Nemo took first place. Guilty Gear saw Teresa. Blaze Blue Cross Tag saw Black Ace, and Blaze Blue Central Fiction saw SKD. That's going to be our real quick hit on the Headstomper 2019 results. Over the course of the week, we're going to go more in detail on some of the breakdowns in the standings for how things are looking for that Capcom Pro Tour, Tekken World Tour, and the Arc Revo World Tour that is still going on over the course of the season, along with a few more in-depth details on some of the other events that happened this weekend. However, turning our attention towards gaming and all things nerd-related, for those of you who haven't seen Avengers Endgame, beware! Spoilers are now free to go, say the Russo brothers. Spider-Man's new Far From Home trailer is based after Avengers Endgame, and the new teaser has Endgame spoilers. Now, Endgame has just become the fastest film to gross $1 billion worldwide and has just passed Titanic at a gross $2 billion. It's on track to become the highest grossing film of all time to pass Avatar in just a few weeks. Elsewhere, Sonic the Hedgehog is going to be updated. We talked about it a little bit last week in how relatively Sonic in the trailer looks terrifying and will haunt your nightmares. Well, Paramount Pictures has said, hey, we're going to adjust this, we're going to change it based on the backlash from the internet. Tragically though, the merch guys over at Paramount didn't quite get that memo in time, and we're starting to see some merch crop up on a few websites on the internet that looks truly terrifying, including a Sonic the Hedgehog children's costume based off of the movie rendition of Sonic the Hedgehog. So if it wasn't terrifying before, put an 8-year-old with Red Bull inside of that thing and suddenly you've got a whole new kind of crazy. In other news, we're turning our attention towards Fortnite, where the next season will be starting in the next week, I believe on the 9th, and today is the 6th. Season 9 is set to kick off, and we don't quite know what's going on with that season just yet, but I'm sure as the days continue, we'll get more and more teases and leaks out of Epic Games. And of course, this is fresh off of the back of the Avengers LTM, which is pulling in a huge number of people, alongside the return of the drum gun as a result of the volcano exploding and the unvaulting event, which happened this past weekend. There's still a whole bunch of Fortnite action occurring and presumably will be occurring as we enter into Season 9 and we get to see those final changes Epic has planned before we get into that season, but we're still keeping our eyes on it. In other news, a lot of pro players are saying that they might be stopping Fortnite competitive play. People have voiced their concern with how Epic Games has been treating competitive Fortnite over the past few months, saying that the amount of time that it takes to practice draws away from their opportunity to stream and actually enjoy the game, especially when you bring in stream sniping along with cheaters, information sharing by teaming in a competitive environment in which anyone can drop into a match. A lot of people are wondering if Epic Games can really resolve these issues in time for the World Cup and whether or not it's worth the time investment in order to really compete at a maximum level. So a handful of pro players are saying that they will be stepping back. Let us know what you think though. Is Fortnite still trajecting upwards with their competitive scene, or are things starting to stagnate a little bit with the constantly changing games, the addition of new items and the invisibility grenades? We do know the drum gun was not added to the World Cup this past weekend and won't be added until next week, but is it still the super strong drum gun from earlier in Fortnite's lifetime, or will it be tweaked and changes in those stats? Regardless, let us know what you think down in the comments below. But in the meanwhile, this has been your Daily HUD. I'm Dom. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below and let us know what are the games you want us to cover, and feel free to check us out on twitch.tv/esports_channel for more information and some more gameplay ourselves. But hey, that's enough for me. I'm Dom. Thank you so much for watching. This is your Daily HUD. GG. We'll see you tomorrow.